I got a comment from my yesterday's video that said that what's the purpose of all this artificial intelligence, and that I'm coming off as a construct of all of this hype, and what's the purpose of it? And that really puzzled me because it bothers me that I think there are people who do not really understand what artificial intelligence is and what the meaning of it is and how it's going to change our world and what an opportunity it presents. My belief is that this is going to give me access to all the knowledge of the world. So comparable if Eli Lilly made a drug that I could ingest and it would make me beautiful, it'd give me 3 more inches of height, it'd build up my muscle mass, it'd make my hair thicker and my eyes bluer, and I'd be the handsomest dude in the world. I'd want to know where I could get that and have access to it so that I could have a better life. And that's what I think is happening, but it's not my body that's going to change. It's my mind that's going to change. It's going to give me access to all the knowledge of the world so that all I need to know is what are the questions I need to ask. And so when I see NVIDIA and Supermacro and advanced micro devices and Symbotics and Micron selling this product that is going to change the world, I want to know, because they're not really making the product, they're making the infrastructure that is going to make the product available. I want to know who's buying it, because whoever is buying Jensen's computers, or not computers, but GPUs, is going to change my life. So I need to know who's buying them. Who's buying the Supermacro's computers? Who's buying Symbotics robots? Who's buying AMD's new chips? If I know who's buying them, then I know who's going to then give me that drug that's going to give my mind the ability to become a smarter, a more intellectual, and make better decisions. Whether it's investment, whether it's food, whether it's climate, whatever. I want to know who the companies are. So yesterday in the video, I went and I looked at who's spending the most in research and development, and I came up with the biggest spender is probably Snowflake, and then the second biggest was Intel, and then followed by Meta. I did all that in yesterday's video. So then I said, okay, let's take that even further. You have this portfolio of some 37 stocks that you believe, and when I say you, I mean me, are going to be the providers of this new knowledge base that's going to change my life. So who in that group is spending money this last year to give them access to NVIDIA's and Supermicro's and AMD's, to their tools that are going to change my world? Who are they? So what I then did was go through and search each one of these 30-some stocks and find out what exactly did they spend last quarter or last year on research and development. And I think that'll give me some insight as to who the major players are and who is going to deliver the rewards from the purchase of NVIDIA's GPUs. NVIDIA last year sold $61 billion worth of GPUs and other chips. That's up from $26 billion. Well, who bought them? Okay, and where are they headed right now, and how are they going to be used and processed to change my life? And that's what I want to take you to my computer and take you to my cheat sheet and show you on the cheat sheet where I've shared that information so that you can look at it and say, okay, I now see that Snowflake has spent 46% of its last year's revenue on research and development, and has hired an additional, or is hiring an additional 1,000 people. I believe they're a player. And I'll be damned if their stock isn't down today. Because they are spending money, because they are hiring people. So it is negatively affecting their earnings today, but my God, what it's going to do for their earnings in the future. So I want to go even deeper and find out who else is following Snowflake's path and is going to weather the storm. We'll get at that right after I share that this is not financial advice. This is just me ranting.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Griegmeyer.
Okay, this is my original cheat sheet, and it's where I list the bus 13 and the bus 12 stocks. The bus 13 is basically those stocks who have the data and have the capabilities of building the infrastructure that we're going to need to make artificial intelligence available. And then bus 12 is that of those stocks that I believe that are going to deliver that to us, the software, in other words. This is the hardware, this is the software. And what I do is track their earnings per share over the past years. I track analysts' ratings of what their future price will be. I look at tech, I look at fair value, and then I come up with a price that I want to buy the stock at, irrelevant of what it is right now. This is where I want to buy it, such as right now, Apple's selling for $170. I want to buy it at $165. And if I do, this tells me what my potential return would be based on my projections of future price of 35%. And so I do that with every stock and track them and change these numbers as their earnings change. Now what I did was take this and say, okay, this is all based on if I buy it at the price I want to buy it. Okay, so then I said, well, let's take that variable out and let's say I buy it at the price it is today. What is my potential return? Again, based on analysis high, tech readings, fair value. And then I've entered another element, and that is the price based on in the future price based on its current PE ratio. So if in fact its earnings go up to in Apple's case to $6.57, and it has a PE ratio of $27.77, what would its price be? And it says it's $182 based on then an average of these four or five numbers. I would make 18% on the stock if I bought it at today's price. So that's what that is. Now then, what I'm talking about earlier is I want that now to say who is spending the money on the future, who and how will that equate into my purchase price and my willingness to buy. And so what I did was go in and create a formula to derive of what percentage of their revenues did Apple spend last year on research and development, because I believe that's going to tell me how many GPU chips they bought, if that's appropriate for what their business is. And so I then go down and I come up with that number. And as you can see, then I have highlighted those where it seems to be high. Here you see CDNS, it spent 35%. Intel, as we said, spent 46, Meta 27, NVIDIA 14. Here we have Qualcomm 23, Rambus 34. So you can see that this gives me some guidance of who's playing in the future. This one surprised me. Taiwan Semiconductor, only 8%. And again, this serves as a flag. And that says, does that mean that they aren't investing in new methods? They aren't buying, and I know this is true, they are not buying ASML's new tools, so they have a lower investment number. And then you can see some that are outrageous, such as RX. This is the stock that NVIDIA bought some of just 2 weeks ago, and then bought some back July in 2023, and the stock shot up, and now it's retreating. And this is a drug discovery company, and the reason its percentage of revenues is so high is they don't have a lot of revenues, and they're spending a lot of money buying Jensen's GPUs to help them discover drugs. I right now am not in the market to buy that. I think there are other better opportunities, such as here. Here is Rambus, and again, you can see Rambus has a tremendous history of 38% last year. And year to date, though, they're down 3%. Well, why is that? Well, they make semiconductors, and some of them are geared towards the EV industry, and the EV industry is down, but yet they are spending 34% of last year's revenues on research and development to better their position in the future, and that would tell me that's the kind of company that I want to invest in. Well, then why is Supermacro Computers only at 4%? Because they're a factory. They basically put the parts together and put them in a box and then sell that box for $250,000. They aren't developing processes to make the silicone chip more heat, more have greater ability to repel heat. They aren't in that business, so they aren't in research and development. So again, that's something that I need to look at, and I'll give you an example here. I have not been high on Broadcom, and yet they have had a very good run. They're up 115% year to date, and their price is going up. But they only spent 15%, and again, that 15% of what makes a big difference. As you can see, Amazon spent 15%, 15%, but they are spending 15% of a much bigger number than Rambus is, okay? So that needs some sorting through as well. What I want to share with you, and the whole purpose of all this is, how do you make better investment decisions? How do you find the stocks and sort them through to say, these people are investing in the future, and maybe it costs them in the present as far as stock price, but I've got to believe, and I'll come back to it over and over again, Snowflake is a no-brainer, because they are spending 46% of the revenues they generated last year to make their company better than it was the preceding year. And if I live in a community and I see someone who is buying up all the real estate and paying exorbitant prices for it, I have to say to myself, they know something I don't know. And I need to dig and find out what it is they know. And I think that is what Snowflake is showing me. I think that's what Rambus is showing me. I think that's what Cadence possibly should show me. I don't know a lot about Cadence. I know they're a design company. But what I'm looking for is, okay, what's the telltale sign? Why is Intel spending 46%? And then you tie to that, the government just awarded them $10 billion in additional money to spend for creating foundries here in the United States so that we aren't dependent on Taiwan for our advanced semiconductors. So does that make sense? It does to me. So again, I said it in yesterday's video, I'm looking for where the puck is going. I'm not looking for where it is right now. Right now, it's in NVIDIA and Supermacro's court. Are they going to get that exponential growth from here that I think I will get with Intel and possibly Snowflake? That's how I think. If that's how you want to think, if that's the kind of information you want me to tickle your brain with and say, that makes sense. I'm not chasing the puck. I'm going to where the puck is going, and I've got the patience as long as I have the understanding of what's making it happen. And what's making it happen is a promise to you that you are going to have a much better life in the future as a result of artificial intelligence. All the knowledge in the world is going to be at your fingertips. All you're going to need to know is, what questions do I need to ask so that I can be ahead of the rest of the world? Such as right now, that's what I believe I'm delivering to you. The question you should be asking is, of the $61 billion that NVIDIA took in, who spent it? Who's investing in their future? And thus, I can invest in them as well. That's what this cheat sheet is telling you. You can have access to it. It's on sale. Yes, 50% off. Look in the description and join our platform. And I'll give you access. This is on the website, and I change it every day. I update it. I bring it to where it helps me. That's what this is all about, helping me make better investment decisions. And I'm opening the door and saying, here's what I use, and here's the logic I use behind it. If that can be helpful for you, then I want to help you. All right? Kerry Grinkmeyer, retired financial advisor. Also got a comment on my Hotel Yorba sign. That would belong to my daughter, who passed away from cancer, a big Jack White fan. So talk to you again tomorrow.